Vincent Watson was serving a 6-year robbery sentence in state prison when he wrote a letter to the Cobb County Police. He claimed to know of 2 men, by nickname only, who Watson said were involved in the murder of 15-year-old Patrick Rogers. Rogers' death is the only task force case being handled by Cobb County Police. His body was found December 7, 1980, floating in the Chattahoochee River. Police gave Watson a lie detector test and determined he was telling the truth, so he was transferred to the Cobb County Jail. But each night he would be let loose to roam some of the roughest streets in Atlanta, always with Cobb detectives close behind. For 3 weeks, Watson searched for the 2 men who he claimed were linked to the Rogers case. But police were tiring of the whole thing. They weren't getting anywhere. Then a detective mistakenly let it slip that Watson was about to be sent back to state prison. On June 22nd, knowing his time was running out, Watson went to the Marquette Club on MLK Drive near Ashby Street. It is a nightclub that police say is frequented by transvestites and homosexuals. It is a rough place where customers are searched at the door. That night was the last time police saw Vincent Watson.
They had went in, left him in there for a certain period of time, and he came back out and talked to the officers and told them that they had been spotted and they needed to change locations. And he went back in the establishment, and they waited probably give him another hour or so, and then he didn't show back up the time he was supposed to be when they had to double check at that point and found out he wasn't there.
Cobb police are convinced Watson sneaked away to avoid going back to prison, but they admit it is possible someone found out Watson was working with the police, and he may have run into trouble inside the Marquette Club. Wayne Williams, who was already under arrest and charged with one of the task force murders the night Watson disappeared, is also known to have visited the Marquette Club at least twice since December. But Cobb police say Watson never once mentioned Wayne Williams' name. Cobb County continues to have detectives assigned to check out the leads Watson provided, and sources say finding those 2 men, who are still known to investigators only by their nicknames, may be the key to solving the Patrick Rogers case and possibly others on the task force list. Dennis Kauf, Action News.
Peace. Don't want to take up too much time on this commentary, but for anyone that's aware of this particular case, Patrick Rogers was known as a martial artist and a boxer in his hood. He was from Thomasville Heights, which was one of the roughest neighborhoods in Atlanta back in the day. And he was known to be able to beat grown men at 15, 16 years old. So the whole theory of it, Wayne Williams being the person that was able to do something to this guy, it's just always been hilarious to me. What everyone needs to know is that this man that was incarcerated took this lie detector test and was proven not to be lying and knew the nicknames of the 2 people who he said were actually the people that unalived Patrick Rogers. Lo and behold, years later, Patrick Rogers' brother, Isaac Rogers, comes out and lies and says that Wayne Williams also tried to abduct him. So it's just too many blaring coincidences in regards to this particular case that shows that Wayne Williams could not have been the person that did this crime.